Hey everyone, this is Roxanne here at Crossing Bridges Now, and I want to say thank you for either joining me live or watching this on the replay because I wanted to share some experiences and about what I went through recently just with this scam and what I've learned from it and what it helped me release and navigate to that, to those old trauma wounds inside. I just shared this on Instagram and I've been dark for a little while, like I've been quiet for a little while just because of this, because I wanted to let it go and I wanted to let it heal. And honestly, I've been a little bit embarrassed and I've been, I've even had some shame around it because I didn't really want to come out and fully share this. And there was a tiny bit of fear that, they were going to be following me. And at the end of the day, I just thought, if they're going to follow me, they're going to follow me. So I shared this on my personal page. I won't probably, a few weeks back. And for about 5 months there, I had been in conversation with and I had been connected with somebody who actually was a scammer, and I hadn't realized it. Now, you know what? I am intuitive, and I thought I was being overcautious and oversensitive and reading too much into it, and really it was my intuition telling me, giving me the signs and giving me the red flags. I even asked, my mentor. I even asked one of my closest friends, my best friend, to help me stay grounded because I knew that I was emotionally getting further involved in this. And what it did do was it took me to places that kind of scared me because I compromised my safety in order to make sure that he was safe. And really he was safe. He was just, doing his thing that they do. So what I have learned from this experience is where these groups do come from and how they pick their victims, how they choose their profiles. And honestly, they are just not on dating sites. They are on all social media sites. They truly are. We think that, they'll just be on places like Tinder and Match and Plenty of Fish and whatever. And you kind of do know the language, and then sometimes you kind of get caught off guard and go, "Whoa, what?" and you disengage, right? And then there's those times when you don't. And one of the things that I've read after releasing myself from this and finding resources online, and I'm even in a support group now, is these scams are on the rise right now, and it's understandable as to why they are. We're missing connection, and for those who don't have connection on a regular basis, well, you're going to go and look for it. And where do you go for it? You go online, and right now online is really about the only place we can go, which is why it's a hotbed, and which is why this is all on a rise. So I'm hoping that sharing these experiences either help you understand or they help someone who's going through this, because one of the things that it helped me understand and realize was how much shame that I was trying to release and had been releasing through all the spiritual expansion that I've done. But I still had some of those in there. There were still trauma wounds, right? And there were still things to release within those wounds. And it was really getting in touch with and being close with those triggers and allowing everything to unwind from that. And that's what this experience helped me do, honestly, was get in touch with those trauma wounds. I believe that things happen for us, not to us. And it's not something that I say, and I don't want that to be taken out of proportion or anything. It's just that I believe that there's always something within it for us to learn and see when we're open to it. And we have a choice to approach it that way, or we have a choice to stay within the anger and the guilt and the shame and other people's thoughts have an influence over us and what they say over us. We have that choice to stay within that prison or release us. And I choose to release, right? So this is the place where I'm coming from. So you may agree with what I've just said, or you may not, and that is okay. I love you anyways. So the only thing that I ask is that anybody who's going through this, or anybody who has gone through this, I ask that you show them compassion and kindness. And I honestly hope that you, if you've been scammed or are going through this, then I ask that you show yourself compassion and kindness. It's going to take a while to get there, because you will go through shock, you will go through guilt, you'll go through shame to get there. But I hope you get there. So I met this person through LinkedIn, and he said he was a doctor, and actually there are real doctors on LinkedIn, so that's not far-fetched, right? And the connection that we had established was a conversation around COVID and our views on it. And actually he was really intelligent, okay? He didn't sound like a scammer. He didn't sound like it, the way that he worded it. He sounded legit. So I believed him, and I engaged with conversation. And as you know, we developed, because he never tried anything. Like, he didn't try to get money or anything. He just wanted to communicate. And this went on for probably like a month, maybe a little bit longer. And then we went onto a different platform. We went on to WhatsApp. But like I said, it was established, right? So it wasn't him trying to engage and then get me off onto another platform right away. That didn't happen. So as we communicated, and as it expanded, then that's when, you know, I actually thought a connection was developing, because he told me it was. And I've been married twice and divorced twice, but I met both my husbands online. So this was not new to me at all. I knew that a connection could be established. And anybody in online dating, you know it can be. So I actually thought he was from the United States. And yeah, like I said, I am highly intuitive. So there were warnings and there were things going off. And then, you know, every time I had a question for him, he always came back with a legitimate sounding answer. And then he got into a situation where he needed money, right? And that's when it started. And what concerned me was that I now started to look at it differently, because I started to risk my safety, right? And my comfortability, and I was caught off guard. And the one thing I kept on thinking was, even though my intuition was guiding me, and even though, you know, my mentor had said, you know, you probably shouldn't, I did it anyways. And the reason why I did was because I kept on thinking, you can't make this up. And I even had a friend come in, you know, because then I started communicating with her, and I said, can this be made up? Like, can this be fake? Can all of this happen to one person repeatedly? And the story that he had created, it just seemed valid. So until, you know, we got to a place, right, where her her intuition started to give her more red flags. And then she was actually the one who initiated getting into these support groups and started to gain information. And then she found a way to actually track down the real person. That was, that was shocking. That was a little bit unbelievable. And of course, I questioned my senses. I questioned my thinking and what led me here and why did I allow this to happen. And I went through that shame, right? I shamed myself. However, it's like I said, I'm also grateful because it took me to that trauma place, right? That trauma wound that I had, that I needed to heal and I needed to let go. And I wouldn't have done that without this help. There's always light within the dark. And as long as you can see that light, and as long as you allow yourself to see that light, then you'll get through it. It's when you hold yourself within that dark place, that darkness, that it can consume you and it can hold you in a cell. And I choose not to be held in a cell. Now, the other thing that I did was, because I thought he was sharing pictures of himself with me, I shared pictures of myself with him, which we know is a no-no. And about a week ago, it came back on me. They decided that they were going to start blackmailing me. And I say they because it's usually a group. It's not usually one person. It's usually a group. And they can be in Nigeria, they can be in the United States, they can be in Germany, they can be anywhere in the world. They know how to replace IP addresses. So even if you check into the IP address on an email, they know how to switch that. Like they're smart at their game, right? They get taught this. And there is a group here on Facebook that helps them. There really is. If you go and search in the toolbar up above and on how to be a scammer, it'll take you right to their group. So they're openly teaching people how to do this. And Facebook allows it. So it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Anyways, however, that being said, it was kind of shocking and it was embarrassing. And I was taken aback by seeing these photos being sent back to me and then this blackmail letter attached. And they actually sent 2 more emails. And I actually blocked them right away. And I didn't engage. And it's been reported to the police. And she even asked me, well, what do they want? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm not engaging with them. I don't know what they want. But I know when they come back at you like this, they either want money or they want more pictures. Because, like I said, I've been reading and doing a lot of investigating into it. So the other thing they do is they reach out to friends and family, which is now why my friends list is private. And which is also why I've tried to put as many precautions on my Instagram. And they even tried to hack into my webpage, or my website rather, and they tried like 25 times. Now, see, I get all this information and they may or may not know that I get this information, so, and that's okay. That's okay. But what's concerning and what's deeply upsetting actually is how they truly do not see people. They see us as commodities. They see us as an avenue to gaslight, to use as either money laundering, to use as scapegoats. Like they just know how to make it and how to maneuver it so that it doesn't come back on them, and you can wind up being a criminal. Like I said, I've done so much reading and investigating into this. So this is why I say, please have compassion and kindness for someone, because they're not going to know the extent of it unless they do what I did and start researching and start gaining knowledge. And from these support groups, you can actually gain a lot of knowledge. So I'm grateful that I got to release more around my fears of lack of having money, lack of loss of opportunity, because let's face it, we're all in this, right? In different ways. Like, we're not all in the same boat. I'm not saying that, but we've all faced these kinds of situations. Where's the money going to come from? What do we do now? What if you lose your job? What if I lose my job? What if we both lose our job? What if we have to go on EI? What if the EI runs out? What happened? What ifs? There's so many what ifs, right? Until we can get moving forward again, until the economy can come back, and until people can get jobs. So just know something. This is their job. This is their 9 to 5. They have a script that they work off of. They may, depending on the social media platform that they engage you with, they may have information on you already, or they may not. The person that they're using as a profile picture, that person's information has already been sold and it has already been circulated. You may see it being used by a different scammer in a different social media site. That's what they do. They sell information. They sell pictures. And so how do they get these pictures? Well, they get them from you. It's so easy to get it. All they have to do is just screenshot it, right? Either from Facebook. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just informing you, okay? I don't want you to live your life in fear. I'm just letting you know how this happens. Their favorite place is Instagram. They get a lot of information from Instagram. The person that they used to scam me with, they got his information from Instagram. And they create a story. They create a dialogue. And some of the verbiage is the same and it's very familiar. And you will know, because you'll see it's like, why are these people asking me the same question? That's it. That's your key, right? And I know that now, and I know what to look for. But it's shocking. And it's really unbelievable the lengths that they will go to. Because like I said, they may show their siblings humanity, but they're not going to show you humanity. They have no respect for you. It may sound like it in the dialogue, in the story that they're telling you, but they don't. So just know that your only purpose is for them to gain access, or to gain information, or to use you in some way. Just know that. And know that it's not just Tinder or Match or Plenty of Fish or any of those dating online places. It's any social media platform that they come at you with. And also know too that they prefer gift cards or cryptocurrency. So they prefer either one of those. Again, I've been doing lots of reading, right? And this is also what they share in their scam group, right? I haven't gone in there. As soon as I heard about it, of course, I had to find out for myself, and I went, oh my God, it's actually right here. And They always bring God into it. And that's what's sad. That's what's sad, how manipulative they are. And they will gaslight you. And I think I may have already said that. But you see, I know those signs. And when that starts to come into play, that's when I really start to disengage. And that's when I start to pull back. And I'm only telling you this because for as much as I've tried to turn my pages into being private, you may see pictures of me one day, and I hope that doesn't happen, but and I apologize if you do. It's just that yeah, it's what they do. So like I said, it taught me a lot, and I learned a lot, and I knew that I was supposed to learn a lot from this experience. But what it also helped me see was, like I said, the fears and the association to shame. And truly what really breaks my heart is, and this really breaks my heart, is how this is a 9-to-5 job, how it's their business. It's how they make money. And because it can be so lucrative, they're not gonna shift into something new or move away from it. And because they don't care about you, I've read some stories, right, where they can emotionally and mentally destroy people. And so that's why I say, please have kindness, because they're going through a lot. And at the end of the day, that's all we all want is connection, and we want love, and we want compassion. But we don't want it this way. And not everybody is, and it's hard to accept. And I'm not saying that not everybody, because in the end, they all accept it. And they all are healing from the repercussions of it. I am, for crying out loud. I am too. But it's just be aware that it can happen to anybody. And it helped me really understand that connection to shame that I had. And I already knew that I was releasing it and unraveling it because of the things that were coming up for me, just in association with my family. So I knew I was doing ancestral healing. And so I knew that this just sort of helped speed that along. And it helped me to see where those actual feelings and emotions and thoughts around shame actually started from. Because they started when I was in the womb, and what the relationship was between my mother and my father, and what she was carrying emotionally. And that was transferred into me, right? Because her stresses, like any stress or emotion that she's feeling, it's going to be transferred onto her baby. And it was. And it does happen. And then that gets programmed, right? So for me, it was my mom did not want my dad to be my dad. And after, like I said, doing some of this healing, I understand why now. And it was some things that were always there, but I didn't want to see them as a kid growing up. And it's probably, and it was for a few reasons, and it was because I wanted to have at least one parent who seemed normal. But he was actually quite abusive to my siblings as well as my half-brother. So 3 of my siblings, he was very abusive. And so my mom knew that I could be the next one. There was one sibling he wasn't abusive with. And that was because he had a physical disability, so he wasn't abusive with them. But the others, he was, and I've had memories, and so that's what I've been unwinding. And so because of this experience, and because of what I've been dealing with unwinding this ancestral healing, it's why I've been quiet, a little bit quiet on social media, because I didn't know how to approach this. But at the same time, with how I want to show up in the world and how I want to be that guide for you. I also know that one day a picture of me may come up, and so I'm sharing that because I'm not going to allow myself to be shamed. It's already been a very traumatic experience, and it was shocking, and it was disheartening, and it was unbelievable. And seeing it thrown back in my face, I thought, you dick, this is horrible. But like I said, it has been reported to the RCMP, and I know that there's a couple of other things that I can do, and I just probably will do that. So please be kind. Please show compassion. Please know that this can happen to anybody, and it can catch you off guard, and that's what it did to me. It totally caught me off guard. But I hope that this helps you or someone else that you know. And just know that the one thing that I wish for you is that you don't hold on to shame. You don't hold on to the embarrassment, and that you allow yourself to grieve, because it is a grieving process, because they pay you a lot of attention, right? And then all of a sudden it's gone, and all they're doing is just getting you to a place where they can get what they want from you. And that can be horrific, and it can cause all sorts of trust issues. So please be aware that these will bring up all sorts of things inside of you. And because I want to be that spiritual guide for you, if you're called to me, to help you through something, clarity on something, then I also know I need to show up to be that for me. And I believe in releasing, and I believe in letting things go and not harboring or allowing it to grow or allowing it to stay within me. I believe in letting it go. And I know good things are coming my way, and so I just don't want me to hang on to this energy and have an influence over that. So that's why I thought I'd be open, and that's why I thought I would share. It's uncomfortable. It is somewhat humiliating, but at the same time, I also like being vulnerable and raw. And like I said, the more I heal within me, the clearer of a channel I can be for you. And that's my goal, and that's my wish. So please be kind to you. Please show compassion to you. Please show it to others. And let's just help each other through this, and really work to being in a place of understanding and unconditional love for each other as well as ourselves. Okay? So thank you for watching this either live or on the replay. Take care of you. Have a great night. And if you see me in a different way, I apologize for that. And what I mean is, if you see a profile coming up with my pictures or something being used, and maybe it's my name or a different name, I apologize. And I'm saying that now because I really want no harm to come to anybody. And that's what concerns me the most. So take care. Be well.